Hey Amarillo, I'm Skylar Gallup, and you're listening to Hey Amarillo, the interview podcast featuring some of the most interesting people and stories of Amarillo, Texas. We record each week at the beautiful offices of Rosenbach Contractors, experts in high-end design and construction, creating stunning, functional spaces through both new builds and remodels. Today's guest is Dr. Benton Allen. Dr. Allen is a professor of engineering at WT, and his experience and work with the university is really interesting. In our conversation, I appreciated his ability to make sense of what engineering really is and how his work is pairing teaching with finding solutions for issues right here in the Texas Panhandle, whether that be water sustainability or local production, and even gleaning lessons from faraway places like Thailand. It is all, well, very interesting, and I hope you enjoy. Here's Benton. Dr. Benton Allen, welcome to the Hey Amarillo podcast.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, Skylar.
Happy to have you. Where are you from?
I'm from Amarillo, born and raised right here in Randall County. I grew up kind of between Amarillo and Canyon and spent a lot of time in both cities and communities throughout my adolescence.
So you would have been living there when there was a between Amarillo and Canyon.
You're right. Yeah, we're quickly merging. But yes, ma'am, I'm the quote unquote country was where I used to live, and now it's very much the suburbs.
Yeah, far from that.
Mm-hmm.
What were you interested in as a child and as you came up through Canyon schools?
Yeah, I feel like I was probably the quintessential panhandle kid. I loved sports growing up. I loved playing sports and following the local high school sports with my family. I was very much into, playing outside and working on mowers and things of that nature. I was a science kid, a math kid. I loved reading. So all of those things describe my childhood.
What did your parents do?
Parents are blue-collar family is kind of how I would describe it. My mother worked as a social worker for many years. She worked as a special education teacher for several years. My dad spent his entire career working at UPS as a package delivery man.
Nice.
Yeah.
When you graduated, you go Canyon High?
I went to Randall High School. Easy.
I
Yes.
do apologize.
Yeah. So a proud graduate of Randall High School, but I love the Canyon ISD school system.
Yeah.
And my wife is a teacher and a basketball coach now, so we're still very much involved in kind of all of our local school districts, and kind of that high school sports scene is very important to our family still.
That's perfect. Where does she coach and teach?
She coaches and teaches at Bushland. Yeah, so we're in the middle of a playoff run right now. I don't want to jinx it, but we've got a second round playoff game coming up on this Friday.
Oh, how exciting. Yeah. That's awesome. So when you graduated from Randall, what was your plan?
I tell every student that I get to talk to that's curious about WT or really any university is that, I wanted to get out of here really badly. And so I went and toured several universities across the state and some other bordering states. Thought it was my time to kind of spread my wings and fly. But I just kind of kept coming back to the experience that I had in touring WT. And my dad really said it best to me. He said, Benton, if this university was anywhere but your hometown, you would go there in a heartbeat. The class size is exactly what you wanted. You want that kind of interaction with your faculty members. And so that was a really pointed argument for me, and that's how I ended up at WT. I'm studying engineering or studied engineering in my undergraduate because I had a fantastic physics teacher in high school.
Nice.
Yeah, Mr. Dave Matthews, a very memorable name at Randall, really changed the trajectory of my life by kind of introducing me to engineering.
That's so impactful. I love hearing not only that there was a teacher that was impactful, and their name, you know what I mean? That's a real human that impacted not only you, but you would assume so many other kiddos. I had that. I'm far from an engineering brain. Mine was my speech coach, but teachers do that, they do it. It's great.
Yes.
So going to WT, which I love your dad's point because it's so valid. If it were anywhere else, this would be, that's cool. And it worked. So it got you to WT.
Yes, it worked, and my experience was exactly what I had kind of bargained for. I was able to get connected with one of my very first semester on campus. I had essentially like IDS, kind of your freshman seminar class, which at the time we were teaching based on your major. So I had two professors in that course, and one of them was this lady, Dr. Hunt, who was my
Emily?
professor. Yes,
Okay.
yes. And so I met her my very first semester on campus.
Lucky for you.
It
And
was,
she's such a wealth of knowledge.
she is a joy. She is one of the best people I know. She's been a mentor of me, for me ever since then. So going on, yeah, a decade and a half now, I guess, pushing 2 decades. She's been great.
That's awesome. And so that freshman course where you first kind of got engaged with Dr. Hunt, was that everybody took it? You took it, yours was focused on engineering and just like with a goal of kind of really solidifying your maybe sense of community in your college, yeah?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah,
Cool.
they had kind of paired us up based on your major, so you could start to form cohorts and meet people, and while kind of learning just general how to be a college student, right? How to succeed at this new endeavor. And so they happened to teach that course with engineering faculty, which I didn't realize that was kind of a rarity at the time. And so it's just a stroke of luck that I was able to make that connection early. And yeah, I ended up doing undergraduate research for Dr. Hunt in her lab as an undergraduate, and really have continued researching with her and with my colleagues ever since then.
That's awesome. When you went into engineering, did you have an idea of like what discipline you wanted to focus on, or what was your plan to do with your engineering degree at that time?
Yeah, I still didn't know a lot about engineering when I was going into it. I knew that I liked math, I liked science, I liked building things. I was like tore apart mowers all the time, much to my dad's chagrin, and was like less than successful usually at like putting them back together after I had fixed them. But so I kind of wanted to be able to somehow interact with these thoughts I was having in my head, and the things I wanted to bring into the world, and find the methods to actually create those solutions. And I thought engineering could do that. I had heard, if you like math, you like physics, give it a try. And so really those first couple years, I got to learn what engineering was. And during college, I really thought I wanted to go work maybe in the oil and gas industry. Interviewed for some jobs coming out of school in that arena. Thankfully, I didn't take those jobs because that was not a great time when I was coming out of school to go into that industry. But I've still been able to work in and around oil and gas and construction materials, product development, doing a lot of the things I love now in my role as a professor.
What was some of that first research that you did as an undergrad with Dr. Hunt?
Oh, it was so fun. So Dr. Hunt's expertise is in high explosives and energetic materials. I know,
Okay.
right? Same. I was like, what? You
awesome.
blow stuff up? Yes, so she was doing a lot of work with Pantex at the time, who we still love collaborating with any chance we get. But she had come up with a novel material that was created through a combustion synthesis process. So you mix a fuel and an oxidizer together in the right ratios, you set it on fire, you let it combust, and then what you're left with is like a really porous powder. And that powder, based on kind of how you formulate it, she'd figured out a way to make it antimicrobial. It has a really high surface area, and it was a really effective antimicrobial material. And so that was kind of, I didn't help her develop that material, but I came into her lab just in time to kind of start playing with like, what could we do with this? Is there a way to commercialize it? And so right as I graduated school, we got the opportunity to commercialize it and start a company with the intent of figuring out where we can sell this product on the market, where we can kind of add some value to the world by this creation that came about in a lab at WT. So it was so fun. We have some local investors that are passionate about West Texas A&M and are passionate about the research that we're doing there, and allowed us the opportunity to bring derivatives of that product to the market.
It must have been very lucky timing, very fortuitous timing for you as an undergrad to walk in kind of what it sounds like at like the precipice of this like really cool thing, to maybe like kind of like light your passion for engineering on fire. Yeah, do you think that changed, or maybe it didn't change, but maybe sharpened a path for you?
Absolutely. It was a godsend, the timing on that. And I didn't realize how rare that opportunity was at the time, right? As always kind of happens in life, I think you look back and you see like, wow, that was really fortuitous, as you said. So really just getting to be involved in undergraduate research in itself is kind of a rarity, especially at that level where you're kind of getting to lead research projects. That is an opportunity afforded to students at universities like WT that you don't always get at those larger institutions.
Sure.
And so I didn't know that, when I made that selection to stay at WT, but it turned out being really kind of one of those life-altering opportunities. And so, yeah, getting to come in, it wasn't the absolute ground floor, but it was kind of this, like you said, like a precipice where we were getting to do something exciting was fantastic. It's been an excellent opportunity, a really fun ride.
Yeah, that's neat. So, what did you do next? So, you kind of working with Dr. Hunt while you're getting your undergrad. You stayed at WT, correct?
Yeah, so we graduated and decided to kind of, this was right when things were getting commercialized, and so I decided to stay on with this newly formed company, worked with them for several years, and then eventually kind of WT ended up getting a Master's of Science program in engineering. And so I came back to school, completed that Master's of Science, and then at that point we kind of started working in conjunction with the university a lot. So I became a staff researcher at WT while also kind of doing research for the startup. And then, yeah, I got the chance to kind of just keep going to school and ended up with a PhD. I never thought that was going to be like in my plans. But yeah, God just kind of opened the right doors and was able to stay around here and keep learning and keep doing research. So it's been fantastic.
When did you start teaching?
Started teaching very recently, especially
cool.
compared to my colleagues. Yeah, so I am in my fourth semester right now, and it's been great. I really like getting to interact with students while still doing the work in the lab that I've gotten to do, since my undergraduate years.
What age are you teaching?
Our baby buffaloes still primarily. So I teach mainly kind of the intro level engineering courses. The fun stuff is what I usually say, like they're not really loading me down with thermodynamics or heat transfer yet. So I'm getting to teach students about engineering design, about like what is engineering, the fundamentals of engineering, how do we use like the scientific method and various like engineering tool sets to create prototypes and build solutions and solve the problems that are in front of us. I get to do a lot of work with CAD, which is like 3D programming, like building objects in 3 dimensions and teaching students how to do that, doing 3D printing and rapid prototyping, CNC machining. All of that is kind of my bread and butter right now as far as teaching goes, which just lines up perfectly because that's kind of my passion as well, is kind of like making these tangible products, from these ideas that we have in our brain.
That's so interesting and such a foreign body of work to me, which is why I really like to dig in it. So, what's been some early takeaways of taking these, just fresh out of high school in most instances, but certainly not all. Like we've got non-traditional students for sure. What has been some early like wins or things that really light you on fire, or lessons perhaps?
Yes, I've had a lot of wins. We've got really great students. The Panhandle spirit is like alive and well in a lot of our students at West Texas A&M. And so we've got that kind of hardworking mentality, and they're really hungry for challenges that come with some of the coursework and these new skill sets that they're learning. They've been very quick to adopt. And like I said, I'm getting to teach those fun classes where they're not necessarily, sweating until 3 a.m. for a final.
Yeah, they like you.
Yeah. So we'll see if that changes as my career progresses. But I've really loved that. I got the chance to be the first faculty advisor for a very new program, which is our WT Formula SAE racing team. Okay, long name. We're building like a Formula style race car that we're going to take and race against like Texas A&M and UT and stuff up in Detroit next summer. And so that's been a huge win for me, getting to interact with students and help them kind of actually build like a product very early in their career for most of them. Sometimes it's the first time that they've done any fabrication before. And so that's, yeah, it's been really fun. I love getting to help students do that sort of thing.
I don't think I would have assumed that the College of Engineering, or like when you study engineering, that is also building and creating. I think I would have assumed that it's like a bunch of brain power math, but it feels a little bit more accessible to know or to learn that, like, and at the end of that, you are creating a race car, which is cool.
Yeah, that's very perceptive of you to pick up on. I really kind of group a lot of our students into two types. You have those like, maybe they were ag kids, they grew up on a farm or a ranch or a dairy, and they have been fixing tractors their whole life, and they're very comfortable in any welding shop or automotive shop, anything like that. And then we have another group of students that are not as familiar with, tools or machinery or engines, but they love solving problems, and they can just think their way through a lot of different solutions. And there is room for both of those types of students in engineering, and there is an absolute need for both of those types of students. So like naturally, I kind of gravitate more towards kind of those hands-on projects, but we have students who really excel in kind of maybe what you think of when you think of engineering, where you're behind a computer program and you're interacting with bits and pixels more than you are with steel and welders and that sort of thing.
Well, that's really neat. It makes me think about the need for engineering talent here, among our agricultural economy, and all of that that's very valid.
Yeah, it's a really exciting time to be a young engineer or someone who's interested in innovation in our region. There's so much opportunity for kind of overcoming some of the challenges I think that are present in our local area, as well as like obviously the nation, but challenges associated with water, with manufacturing, with reshoring a lot of these manufacturing jobs that we've kind of offshored over the last several decades, supporting our defense industry, generating all the power that we're going to need to support these AI data centers and things like that. It's very exciting. There's both of those skill sets are very much required, kind of those hard hands-on skills, as well as kind of those more ethereal thinker type, big problem type of skill sets.
And I know WT has a super proven track record of like working locally to solve local problems. Is that occurring in the College of Engineering that you have kind of line of sight with?
Yeah, you keep just tossing me softballs. I really appreciate it. Yes, we love being regionally focused. So my PhD work is actually in agricultural science.
Oh, cool.
And so there's a lot of overlap there between engineering and ag technology. And so, we're working on a project right now to embed antimicrobial materials into various polymer surfaces, like at a dairy, for instance, to try to prevent disease transmission between animals, and kind of just see, can we optimize the surfaces or the products that these animals are interacting with so that they're more functional, so that we can kind of imbue some of these antimicrobial characteristics into those surfaces. So that's like just a perfect overlap of where we have kind of a technical expertise in polymer science and material characterization within the College of Engineering. We've got faculty and staff members who understand the local economy and kind of the agricultural needs of the area. And then we've got producers. They're actively asking us for solutions to some of the problems that they're seeing every day. And we just love getting to interact with problems like that, where there's someone asking for, give me a solution, can you figure this out? And yeah, it's just really things that we can sink our teeth into.
If you're starting or growing a small business and need some cash, let me tell you about Amarillo Venture Capital. They are a Hey Amarillo sponsor. They're locally owned, and what makes them different is they don't just invest in businesses. They invest in people. So whether you need $5,000 or $50,000, they offer flexible, asset-based loans, often with funding in a week or less. And it's not just the money. They can connect you with their local network of legal, accounting, and business resources to help you succeed. Check them out at AmarilloVentureCapital.com. I'm always jealous of WT or of college professors because they get to do really cool stuff. And I think in kind of like reading your bio and some of your history, you've got to do some pretty cool stuff, to include a trip to Thailand. Tell me about that.
Yes. Okay, that's another thing that I would have just never pictured. Like, when I was growing up, we took a road trip one summer to Florida, and I just thought, oh my goodness, I'm on the moon, right? Like, I couldn't believe I was this far away from the Texas Panhandle. And then, like, when I got into college, suddenly study abroad was like a big part of my college experience. My wife and I actually met during a study abroad trip. We wrote an essay when we were freshmen and kind of won the opportunity to travel to Honduras on a study abroad trip. And yeah, like some of my best friends, like I said, my lifelong partner, I met on that trip. And I've gotten to kind of continue that trend throughout my career, both as a student and now as a faculty member. So we took a College of Engineering trip this past summer to Thailand to work actually with some agricultural facilities in Thailand. They're teaching farmers how to farm more efficiently. In Thailand there, it's an agricultural society, very similar to ours, much wetter, but the economic drivers, there's a lot of similarities. But they have very small farms. The producers are resource limited. And so figuring out, like, how do we create our own fertilizer on the small acreage that we have and apply it most effectively? How do we water during the dry season? How can we save water during the rainy season and then apply those resources most effectively to our land? We worked with a facility there who was teaching farmers. The facility teaches farmers how to do that effectively. So we helped them design a solar system for their facility and rework some of their irrigation systems, did some work on pumps and automatic valves and that sort of thing. And it really, our students led all of those projects. They did the design while we were here in the States, and then we implemented once we got to Thailand. It was a fantastic experience for myself. We're lucky just to get to see these students like come alive and build things like that. Once again, like interact with the world around them and kind of take their ideas from their brain, into the soil. In the case of these projects that we were working on. So that was absolutely a win. I should have added that to the win column earlier because that was a recent one.
Yeah, a trip to really Thailand.
Yes, it was beautiful. The food was fantastic. The people are really nice. And once again, it was just like our students had never experienced anything like that, most of them. And so it was fun to get to kind of witness them, their eyes be open to these other cultures throughout the world.
I'm curious, how many students did you take?
Okay.
Just
I think between a dozen, cool. 12 or 15, and a couple
how long
faculty.
Were you there?
We were there for 2 weeks. It's literally 12 hours difference from here, so it's the other side of the world. It's a pretty arduous journey. So you had 2 or 3 days of travel on both ends.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm curious if there are lessons, and I assume there are. And so what might they be of like how different the growing climate is there that can be applied here, or you just spend the whole time like, oh, you have so much rain. How unfortunate for you, coming back here.
Yeah, there were similarities that I did not anticipate. They have, similar to us, a monsoon style of weather. So the majority of their rain comes kind of within a few months. And unfortunately, it doesn't align super well with their growing season.
Oh.
So they have the opportunity at least to grow during the dry season. And so a lot of the farms there kind of have water storage of some sort. They have streams or rivers or ponds, and then they're trying to figure out like how to pump from those water sources and apply it effectively. So yeah, there were definitely some takeaways there. Crops are very different, obviously, but they're doing some interesting work with anaerobic digesters, which is something that is happening on the dairies here in a lot of the beef processing facilities. Anaerobic digestion is
that
kind of a hot
not
topic.
oxygen?
Yes, yeah. So that's
I went out on a limb there.
I'm impressed. Yeah. So it's
So digesters
allowing.
that are not with oxygen. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Allowing bacteria to break down organic matter under low oxygen conditions. And it creates essentially natural gas that you can then use as a fuel source while also getting rid of your waste. And so, yeah, it's growing in popularity here in Texas and in the States in general. And it's a huge deal in third world countries like that, because then they can use the natural gas to run their stove if they can get it purified correctly. And it's like a fuel source. It's recycling, it's green, it's kind of a circular agricultural economy. So it was really fun to witness that on small scales there on those farms.
That is very interesting. And you said they're doing some of that in dairies up here?
Yeah, so we're doing it at a much bigger scale at some of our large agricultural facilities in the region. Dairies, as well as like beef processing plants where you have organic waste that comes from some of your processing operations. And then, hey, what can we do with this? How can we create value from this quote unquote waste product? And then, use that value to drive down our costs of operating the plant or the facility.
How much do you guys intersect with the College of Ag?
As much as we can. We love, like I said, my degree is actually from the College of Agriculture at WT, and so we love getting to partner with them. We recently brought Texas A&M AgriLife facility onto campus as well. So, I don't know if you've driven down, I call it Ag Row now, that we've got on Russell Long. Some very beautiful buildings, very smart, innovative researchers.
It looks a lot different than it did when I went to school there. In a very good way, but it's like, wow.
Yes, Dr. Windler, our administration, I am so appreciative of the investment that they've made in our facilities and in campus in general. That's another thing I tell students if they're from the region and they think they know Canyon, and I'm like, it's really a different environment when you get onto campus. It's like our own little community, our own little city on campus. And so very proud of the growth that the university has seen over the last few decades.
Well, and it provides such a critically important role in the Panhandle when we talk about doing so much work to keep our talent here, to keep kiddos that are good at math and physics, that go through Randall here, working on our agricultural solutions and our, economic solutions. I think WT carries a high bar of expectation, really, that it's quite necessary that we have a high quality institute of higher education to sell kids to stay here, because it is kids, and when you come up through school here, you want to get out, and it's like we gotta keep them here, and I think WT does a really good job at that.
Absolutely, yes. That's something I'm very passionate about, is kind of preventing that brain drain that sometimes can affect smaller communities. And I think that's twofold. I think we're doing a very good job of educating these students to innovate and to solve the problems of the region. And I'm also really proud of our economy and the businesses that are here and the things that are being produced. I'm serving right now as the Bell Helicopter Professor of Engineering. And so we have a relationship with Bell, and they just got the contract, to produce essentially the new helicopter that will replace the Black Hawk, the vertical flight aircraft. And so that's so cool that's being made here in Amarillo, Texas, and you pair that with the work that's being done at Pantex and at Excel and our different energy generation companies. And I think, as I said earlier, it's just a really exciting time to be a Panhandle native, and I think a great time to stick around and keep being a Panhandle native as you work in your kind of early career, especially.
Yeah. So what are you, and by extension, the College of Engineering, looking at moving into the future? Like what's on the horizon? What's the next big thing that we're looking at?
Okay. One of the most exciting projects that we're working on right now is a project to explore the feasibility of using desalinated water for various agricultural operations. So Ronnie Jackson's office was very adamant in securing funds for West Texas A&M, the College of Engineering, to build some mobile desalination trailers. And what we're going to use these trailers for is to characterize and really optimize the treatment of water that's produced from the Dockham aquifer. So, little
The
background.
Dockham, yeah,
The
what, yeah.
Dockham,
What's
yeah,
that?
okay. So many of us in this region, I think everyone probably is familiar with the Ogallala aquifer, which is where we draw the majority of our water from. So if you have a water well that's anywhere from 50 feet to 300 feet, it's probably pulling water from the Ogallala. It comes up, it's ready to drink almost all the time. However, there's a deeper reservoir of water when you get down to between 500, 600 feet down to maybe 1,500 feet or 1,800 feet. You have other layers of sediment that also house water. And the water in this area, we call those, it's about a 2,000 foot thick layer of various sediment types that is called the Dockham Formation. The water in this area is not as clean as the Ogallala most of the time. So it has more dissolved minerals in it. It's kind of slightly salty, and we're unable to use it in a lot of areas directly as is for drinking or for irrigating plants or for watering animals. And so this project that Ronnie Jackson secured for us is going to allow us to kind of explore, like, hey, what is it going to really cost for us to desalinate this water? What are creative things that we can do with the waste that's created from the desalination process? It's very fun. And I just spoke about it much longer than I intended. That's how excited I am for this project and what this kind of work will mean for our region.
Yeah, no, that's very interesting, and thank you for keeping it like accessible, because I followed the whole time and remained really interested. So they're trailers, or they will be trailers, and you'll take them around to like water pumps that are deep enough to reach the Dockham stuff and pull the water up and see what happens.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Cool.
And so these are just pilot scale.
Yeah.
And there's within the Dockham, which some people might know as the Santa Rosa aquifer.
Okay.
The Santa Rosa is kind of a particular band of sediment within the larger Dockham formation. In the Santa Rosa, like in Randall County, a lot of wells are in the Santa Rosa, and it comes up, sweet as it can be, and you can drink it right out of the tap. But there's a lot of variability within this formation. So that's part of what this work will be doing is going to various wells, and that's why it's housed in this mobile trailer.
Okay.
Because we can take it throughout the Panhandle, test various wells, maybe set up for 6 weeks or a couple months, and do like a pilot operation to generate data on like, hey, what's coming out of the ground, how much energy is required to remove the salt from this water, and make it usable for various operations.
I feel like it has the potential to be incredibly impactful.
It could be. It's inherently going to be more expensive, obviously, than using Ogallala water, but we think there's specific instances where the value is going to be there. We have such a tremendous infrastructure built around our agricultural economy, from our feedlots and our dairies to the beef processing facilities, all the ancillary businesses that supply equipment and engineering expertise to these processing facilities. We want to ensure that if there's new sources of water that we can unlock for use in the agricultural industry, we're going to do our best to do that and make that happen. So that's what I'm really excited about for this project.
Yeah, it warrants it. And I think, again, a really interesting example of local or regional academia, involving itself in research and solutions to meet local and regional issues and bringing young people along.
Yes, it really is like textbook, like what our vision is at West Texas A&M University, like from the region to the world. And yeah, I'm excited to be able to work on this project and hopefully take some of the things that we're learning here. So inland desalination, which is what this topic is in general, is different. Desalinating water, they do that all over the world. But most of the times those facilities are located close to an ocean where you can discharge kind of the extra salt back into the ocean. We can't do that here. Inland situations of desalination just require, they have different challenges. And so we're excited to get to attack some of those challenges and see if we can come up with some creative economic solutions to them.
Does your marketing feel like a shot in the dark? Are your social media posts getting lost in the scroll? Unlock your business's potential with SKP Creative. They know your audience and design posts that reflect your brand and drive real engagement. From scroll-stopping social media content to powerful traditional marketing, graphic design, and website development, SKP Creative covers it all. Are you ready to elevate your feed and turn your marketing into a success story? Visit skpcreative.com today. All right, I'm back with Dr. Benton Allen. Dr. Allen, this is the part of the show I call 8 straight. I've got 8 fast ones for you.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Yes, sir. When you think of Amarillo 10 years from now, what do you hope for?
Hope for a thriving community of people who love each other and who are committed to, making this world and this region a better place.
When was the last time you went to Paladero Canyon?
Oh, it was 24 hours in the canyon last summer. I'm embarrassed to say I haven't been back since then.
But did you ride?
I rode, yes.
Wow.
I started mountain biking in college with my student ministry and have waned a little bit as, move into fatherhood and things, but I still get down there any chance I can, and actually rode with a group of a lot of engineering alumni in 24 last summer, so we're hoping to get the team back together and attack it again this summer.
That's awesome. That's such a remarkable event.
It's so
From
fun.
the what it serves to just the actual event itself is cool.
Cool is a great way to describe it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Other than wind, what does this area have too much of?
Look, other than wind, I think we've got too many restaurants that don't have great breakfast burritos in the morning. I'm a huge breakfast burrito person. I think that every great local hamburger restaurant should also be open for breakfast and have breakfast burritos for me to enjoy.
Okay, so are you like hot sauce like picante or taco sauce like, you know what I mean?
Not taco sauce, okay? I love the green, like kind of authentic hot sauce. I like my normal style picante sauce as well. I feel like I'm kind of an aficionado though, so I like to try all of it. I feel like the breakfast burrito is like perfect. You've got the carbs, the protein, the fat right there. So it's a great way to start your morning, and I think there should be more of them available in our region.
And like pitching that burger restaurants should also, it's right up their alley.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel as well.
That makes a lot of
Thank you
sense.
for this opportunity to make my plea.
I'm happy to support you in it. Okay, so what does this area not have enough of?
One thing that I'm really passionate about in this area is helping small businesses to have manufacturing facilities here. Reshoring jobs is, I know, an important point for this administration, but like me personally, I've kind of been in the small business world. We've done manufacturing in-house, and I'd love to see more facilities kind of be producing products at small scales here in Amarillo. And that's some of the work that we're doing in our advanced manufacturing facility in Canyon, and the research that I hope to bring to kind of this general industry is helping companies kind of create products, in the region, in the state, more economically.
That's really interesting because I think for an outsider's perspective, if I think of manufacturing, I wouldn't think that you can like do that here, which I think maybe is part of the problem that you're working to solve. So you can just like build a plant thing that makes a thing and then sell it?
Depending on the material that's needed and the requirements, but increasingly there's ways of not having to purchase injection molded parts from China.
Cool.
There's ways of kind of using 3D printing to create the products directly, or using 3D printing to create low-cost molds for injection molding machines.
Yeah.
That kind of opportunity is available and is, I think, gaining traction. And I'm really excited about kind of, once again, just like I tell our students, we're trying to, get ideas from our brain into our hand. And I think small businesses can do the same. They can take these great new product ideas and turn them into tangible things that to be sold and we can do that locally.
What's your favorite local building?
I love our new football stadium at WT. It is a fantastic, I think, coliseum to the sport that has a special hold on my heart. So that's one of my favorite buildings on campus and really in the region.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's a great facility.
Favorite local restaurant?
I love Buff's Burgers in Canyon. It's probably my go-to. Now, they are one that have the breakfast burritos, which I'm a fan of, and they also
Now, is
have
this the one that's
great
in
burgers.
in the meat building?
Okay, no,
No,
this
okay.
is the one that's down on the corner right at 4th and 23rd.
Oh, cool.
They were a small, it was like a hallway basically for several years. But like I said, probably because they have such great breakfast burritos, they were able to expand it out now. It's a great building. I think it's in the old movie theater, kind of on the northwest corner of 23rd and 4th Avenue.
Nice. I will have to check it out.
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Allen, you've got 4 hours to spend in Amarillo with someone who's never been here, or the Amarillo area, rather. What would you be doing?
I'm absolutely going to go probably rent some mountain bikes at one of our great mountain bike shops here, and then I'm going to take them to the canyon, and I'm going to show them the ropes, try to point out. I'm slowly learning the geological kind of features that are happening as we've gotten into this water work. They're really time is on display in the canyon, and I think it's just a great way to interact with nature, interact with our creator. It's beautiful, and it's something that we don't take advantage of enough, like even as locals. So that's definitely where I'm going to start.
What do you think people get wrong about Amarillo?
I think folks think that we are kind of dogmatic and stuck in our ways, and I think there's overall like a feeling of warmth for this region, like, oh, they're the cowboys and they're doing things like they were done 100 years ago, but that's not the case. Like I said, we're cutting edge. Our industry that we have here, the research that's being done, has a massive impact on our state, our region, and beyond. And so I think that's something that is kind of misunderstood by people.
Yeah, I mean, I think even this slice of conversation has proven that, in areas of innovation. It's very cool. That concludes 8 Straight. I like to end my episodes with offering my guests the opportunity to endorse something. What would you endorse for listeners?
Well, I've got to endorse the College of Engineering as a great opportunity for students who are interested in math, interested in science, want to be able to create things that impact the people that they love, that help people to age with grace, or help people to live, more economically, help businesses to thrive. If you're interested in those types of things and you want to apply some of those science skills that you've been learning in high school, come give us a look. I'd love to give you a tour of our building and introduce you to some of our faculty and students. I think it'd be a great experience for you. It was life-changing for me, and I want to just share that gospel with as many people as I can.
Definitely. It's been really interesting getting to know some of the work that you guys are doing a little bit more accessibly, and kind of, oh, that makes a lot of sense, and it's really cool. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Looking for the perfect date night? The Amarillo Symphony presents Romance at the Symphony, featuring the passion of Romeo and Juliet, the excitement of West Side Story, thrilling music from Gone with the Wind, plus soprano Sarah Beckham Turner singing beloved opera arias. It is perfect for this Valentine's season. Tickets at amarillosymphony.org. And that concludes this episode. Thanks to Dr. Allen for the interview. Thank you to Venture Capital, SKP Creative, and the Amarillo Symphony for supporting the podcast, and to Broderick Adams for editing every week. And thank you for listening. This has been episode 439 of Hey Amarillo. I'm Skylar Gallup, and we hope you'll come back next week.